Have you ever felt the presence of someone who seems to carry a light that's different from everyone else? A light that calms the room, a silence that speaks volumes, and a heart that radiates peace. That's the power of the chosen ones. You've felt it, haven't you? It's that magnetic energy, the kind of soul that makes you feel seen, welcomed, like you've come home. But here's the twist you won't see coming. Behind that serene presence lies a force unlike anything you can imagine. You've been led to believe that kindness equals weakness, but the chosen ones have mastered the art of gentleness, not because they lack power, but because they choose to wield their power quietly. The truth is, the kindest souls carry the fiercest fires. There's a deep storm hiding beneath their calm, a spiritual energy that, when provoked, will unleash a fury like no other. They are not passive, they are prepared. They are not weak, they are stronger than anyone realizes. And you, watching this right now, are not here by chance. If you feel something stirring in your soul, it's because it's time for you to awaken. This message is for you, chosen one. It's time for you to understand why you carry this quiet power and how to harness it. Stay with me, don't leave now, because in this video, we're about to unlock the truth why the kindest souls are the most dangerous when provoked. And once you understand this power within you, there will be no turning back. I want you to do something now. Comment 777 below if this message speaks to you, if you feel that fire igniting inside you. Follow this channel because we are walking this journey together. You are not alone in this. Now, ask yourself, what would it mean for you to finally claim the power within you, the power you've always carried? Let's dive into this truth together. Stay with me, the best part is coming next. God's chosen ones, the quiet power and hidden fury of the most kind souls. Being in the presence of someone chosen by God is not just a blessing, it is a transformation. Chosen ones carry an energy that emanates deep from their spirit, a power that is both soothing and revealing. This light they carry does not simply comfort, it heals on a profound level. It's as if they are a balm for the soul, washing away the emotional residue that has accumulated over the years. And yet, despite this gift of healing, there is a certain weight to their presence, a burning sensation that comes with it. In the same way the sun provides life and warmth, it can also burn if approached too recklessly. So it is with the chosen ones. Their mere existence in a room can bring a sense of peace that feels like emotional relief, as if someone has entered your life and cleared away all the clutter you couldn't manage to get rid of yourself. But while they radiate peace and calm, their light does not come without consequence. Just as the sun's rays can heal and nurture life, they also expose what is hidden. The warmth of their presence makes things that were once concealed begin to surface. It is as though the very act of being in their presence forces you to face things you've been hiding from, both within yourself and in the world around you. For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, or concealed that will not be known and brought to light. Luke 8:17. Their presence is a reminder that we can no longer live in denial. They remind us of our higher purpose, our divine calling, and the work we must do to align ourselves with it. This light is purifying, and often the first step in the healing process is confrontation. When you stand near them, you may feel a strange unease, as though something is shifting deep within your soul. The healing they bring is not just about comfort. It is a gentle, yet powerful, invitation to look at what you've been avoiding. Have you ever felt that sudden wave of discomfort when someone is too honest, too pure? You may not fully understand it, but their honesty, whether in their actions or words, uncovers truths you'd rather leave hidden. But everything exposed by the light becomes visible, and everything that is illuminated becomes a light. Ephesians 5:13. This is the dual nature of their gift. While they heal, they also reveal, showing us parts of ourselves that we'd rather keep tucked away in the shadows. Many who encounter the chosen ones misinterpret their light. Some see them as weak because their presence radiates kindness and understanding. They believe they can manipulate, take advantage of, or even challenge this softness. But this perception is a dangerous mistake, for the light of the chosen one is not one of passivity. It is not the kind of light that cowers in the face of deception or injustice. No, this light is a fire, for our God is a consuming fire. Hebrews 12:29. When it begins to burn, it consumes everything that does not align with truth. It strips away falsehoods and pretenses and reveals the hidden motives of the heart. It is important to understand that the light they carry does not only shine outward, it also shines inward, purifying the soul of the chosen one. This is not a light that is meant to merely exist. It is meant to be transformative. For you, as someone who is called to walk in the light, there will be moments when the healing energy you provide turns inward, challenging your own shadows, forcing you to confront your own wounds, your own hidden places. For God, who said, "Let light shine out of darkness," made his light shine in our hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Christ. 2 Corinthians 4-6. In this way, the chosen ones are constantly being purified, constantly being refined, until they become living reflections of God's glory on earth. But what of the people around them? How do they respond to such purity, such healing? For some, it is too much to bear. The very presence of the chosen one exposes what has been concealed for years, even generations. In this way, the light reveals not only the healing of the soul, but the truths that have been hidden under layers of guilt, shame, or pride. It forces others to face what they have buried for too long. This can be uncomfortable, unsettling, and even painful. But the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1-5. For the chosen one, this truth-bearing power is not something they seek or use recklessly. It is a natural byproduct of their alignment with divine will. They are simply walking in their purpose, and in doing so, they bring others into alignment with their truth. The light that shines through them is a gift to others, even though it often reveals what they are not yet ready to face. It can feel as if the world is pushing back, trying to keep them in their place. But the more they resist this pressure, the brighter their light shines. For you, as someone who is called to walk in the light, there will be moments when the healing energy you provide turns inward, challenging your own shadows, forcing you to confront your own wounds, your own hidden places. For God, who said, "Let light shine out of darkness," made his light shine in our hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Christ. 2 Corinthians 4-6. It is a light that was designed by God, placed in your soul before you were even born, and it is now your responsibility to share it with the world. But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. 1 Peter 2-9. The world may not always understand the force that radiates from you, but they will feel it. And in feeling it, they will be forced to reckon with the truth of who they are and what they have hidden. It is not an easy road to walk, but it is a necessary one. When you step into your divine purpose, you do not need to seek the approval of those around you. Your power does not lie in the recognition you receive from others, but in your ability to stand firm in your truth, to heal where others are broken, and to remain steady in the face of resistance. This is the quiet fury of the most kind souls, the power that flows from their very being to shape the world around them. So, what will you do with the light you carry? Will you let it shine without fear, knowing that your presence alone brings healing? Or will you hide it, afraid of the discomfort it may cause others? Remember, the healing light of the chosen one does not ask for permission to shine. It simply illuminates, and in its illumination, it transforms. The patience of the chosen ones is a quality that many people misunderstand. It's often viewed as a sign of weakness, passivity, or submission. Yet, in reality, Their patience is anything but that. It's a deliberate, intentional act rooted in deep wisdom and divine purpose. The chosen ones know the value of observing before reacting. They understand that sometimes giving space to others is not a sign of fear, but of profound compassion. They allow others the opportunity to reflect, to recognize their own mistakes, and to choose a path of redemption. Their silence is not weakness, it is strength, wrapped in patience, fueled by purpose. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you sensed the need to speak, to stand up, to act, but chose silence instead? Have you ever seen someone continue to make mistakes, and instead of rushing to correct them, you held back, allowing them the time and space to realize their error on their own? This is the patience that the chosen ones embody. It's the kind of patience that recognizes the power in giving others the opportunity to change, to grow, and to learn from their actions. But this patience is not infinite, it's intentional, a part of the greater plan that the chosen ones are in tune with. Their patience is like a reservoir, deep, calm, and vast, but it has its limits. And when that limit is reached, it is not a reaction born from anger or frustration. It is the natural consequence of the energy shifting. It's as if the universe itself responds to the accumulation of unaddressed issues, the unresolved conflicts that have been allowed to fester for too long. The moment the chosen ones decide to walk away or speak up, it's not out of impulse, but a response to divine alignment. The energy that once flowed freely, generously, begins to withdraw. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. In these moments, the chosen ones don't waste their energy trying to convince or prove anything. They know that their presence, their patience, and their love have already been extended in full measure. When they choose to walk away, it's not a sign of defeat or surrender. It's a clear understanding that they have done all they could, that they have offered every chance, and now it is time for them to move on. This is the boundary they've learned to set, not out of bitterness, but out of self-preservation and respect for their own journey. Have you ever felt the weight of silence? The discomfort of choosing not to speak, even when you knew you were right? It's a form of strength, the kind that comes from knowing that sometimes the best thing you can do for others is to step back, give them the room to grow, and trust that they will either rise to the occasion or continue on their path. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him. Proverbs 26:4. This is the wisdom of the chosen ones, the ability to discern when silence is more powerful than words, when stepping away is more impactful than engaging in futile arguments. But while patience is a virtue, it is not limitless. There comes a point when the energy shifts, when the patience of the chosen ones runs its course. It's not about retaliation or anger, it's a natural, divine response. It's as if the universe has been guiding them all along, offering opportunities for healing, for growth, for reconciliation. But when those opportunities are not taken, when the same patterns repeat, the divine response is to withdraw that energy. The chosen ones do not seek conflict, but they are not afraid to walk away when the time comes. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. Psalm 37:7. This withdrawal of energy is not punishment, it's a result of divine order. It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in the story, and sometimes the role is to walk away, to allow others the space to learn the lessons they must learn on their own. It's not easy to let go, especially when we care deeply about others, but there is a divine truth in the letting go. Sometimes the best way to help someone is to let them face their own consequences, to let them feel the weight of their actions without the comfort of someone else's support. In the process, the chosen ones learn that their patience is not meant to be given endlessly, but with intention. They know when to speak and when to stay silent, when to act and when to withdraw. The lesson is not in the act of waiting, but in the decision to stand firm in the wisdom of divine timing. When they walk away or choose not to engage, They are not abandoning anyone, they are simply recognizing the boundaries of their role and allowing the natural course of events to unfold. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Proverbs 22:3. Have you ever felt that moment of clarity when it became apparent that you could no longer stay in a situation, that your energy and presence were no longer making a difference? That is the moment when the chosen one recognizes the shift, when the divine guidance is clear, and when they step back to allow the universe to work in its own way. Their patience is a gift, but it is not meant to be squandered. When they choose to move on, it is a powerful declaration that they trust in the divine plan and the timing of the universe. In the end, the patience of the chosen ones serves as a reminder to us all. It's not about waiting in passive resignation. It's about waiting with purpose, with intention, and with a deep understanding of divine timing. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Isaiah 40:31. Their patience is not a sign of weakness, but of strength, and it is in their ability to let go, to trust in divine timing, that true power resides. The challenge for us, as we walk alongside them, is to learn from their example. Are we able to trust the timing of our lives and allow patience to lead us when the moment calls for stillness? The chosen ones are not easily provoked. Their emotions are deeply anchored in spiritual wisdom and grace, and they move through the world with an inherent calmness, grounded in divine understanding. They are patient, observant, and often willing to extend grace, even when others fail to show them the same. But there comes a time when their patience reaches its limits. When they are pushed too far, when deception and mockery of their kindness become too much to bear, the response they give is not a typical outburst of anger. No, it is something far more profound, divine judgment, flowing through them with clarity and precision. Have you ever found yourself trying to push someone's limits, testing the patience of someone who seems calm and composed, only to realize that when they finally respond, the weight of their words shakes you to your core? It is not anger that causes the impact, but the unshakable presence of truth. The words of the chosen ones are like fire, sharp and cleansing, cutting straight to the heart of the matter. For the word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart. Hebrews 4:12. Their response is not about attacking or retaliating, but about exposing the truth, revealing what has been hidden, and clearing the path for healing. The chosen ones possess a divine alignment, a deep connection with the Creator that shapes their responses. Their outburst, when it comes, is not from personal offense. It is a reflection of the sacred truth that flows through them. The anger they express is not their own, but rather the anger of the divine justice that rises when the balance of righteousness is tipped. The Lord is slow to anger, abounding in love and forgiving sin and rebellion, yet he does not leave the guilty unpunished. Numbers 14:18. Their anger is not a reaction to being hurt personally, but a cosmic correction, a recalibration of the energy in the universe when truth has been ignored, abused, or twisted. When the chosen ones break their silence, it is not an explosion of emotion, but a release of divine authority. Their words carry weight because they are backed by a higher power, a power that transcends human understanding. What may seem like anger to those on the receiving end is actually a powerful declaration of truth, a cosmic verdict delivered through the flesh. It is not just about calling out an individual's wrongdoing, it is about awakening something deep within, causing those who hear it to confront their own darkness, their own lies. Have you ever experienced that moment when someone speaks and their words cut through everything you thought you knew, revealing a truth you couldn't deny? It's as if, in that moment, you are forced to see yourself for who you truly are. The words of the chosen ones are not just to be heard, they are to be felt. They pierce the heart with clarity, offering not condemnation, but revelation. They speak to the core of the issue, peeling away the layers of illusion that have been built over time. Their response is not about holding grudges or seeking revenge. It is about bringing justice and balance, about aligning the spirit with divine will. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written, "It is mine to avenge, I will repay, says the Lord." Romans 12:19. Their words are not only a rebuke, they are a call to repentance, to a change of heart, to a deeper understanding of the divine order. In that moment, when the chosen ones speak or act, their words hold the power to change the course of events. Their words become prophecies, echoing with the wisdom and authority of the divine. When they speak, they are not representing their own anger or frustration. They are representing truth, speaking with the voice of the Creator, channeling divine justice into the earthly realm. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. Matthew 12:34. The words they release are not born from ego or personal feelings. They are born from a higher place, a place of divine purpose and truth. What makes the chosen ones so unique is their ability to remain silent for so long, to endure so much, only to speak at the exact moment when their words will have the greatest impact. It is never about rushing to defend themselves or to prove a point. Their words are never uttered in haste. They wait for divine timing, and when they speak, it is with clarity and precision. They do not waste their breath on meaningless arguments or fleeting conversations. When they speak with divine intent. Every word is measured, every sentence laden with purpose. This is why the chosen ones are often misunderstood. People assume that their silence is a sign of weakness or submission. They fail to recognize that their silence is strategic, that they are waiting for the perfect moment to release the truth. And when that moment comes, the impact is undeniable. The divine verdict, delivered through them, has the power to shift everything. For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth come knowledge and understanding. Proverbs 2-6. Their outbursts, when they come, are not merely reactions. They are divinely timed revelations that carry the authority of heaven itself. When you are in the presence of a chosen one, it's easy to be drawn in by their quiet strength, their ability to remain calm amidst chaos. But never mistake their patience for passivity, and never mistake their silence for weakness. When they speak, it's not to fill the air with words, but to bring clarity, to expose what has been hidden, and to reveal the truth that has been buried under layers of deception. They are the voice of divine justice, speaking not to punish, but to restore. Have you ever been in a situation where someone's silence spoke louder than any words ever could? Or perhaps you've encountered someone whose words, when they finally spoke, had the power to change everything in an instant. This is the divine timing at work, the chosen ones, waiting for the right moment to release the truth, to speak the words that will bring healing, not just to themselves, but to the world around them. Their words are not simply for the moment, they echo into eternity, leaving a mark that cannot be erased. The chosen ones, with their deep-rooted connection to the divine, are not just warriors for others, they are also vigilant guardians of their own well-being. They understand that their ability to protect others stems from a place of inner strength and balance. Without a firm grasp on their own energy, peace, and boundaries, they cannot serve their higher calling effectively. For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. Du Timothy Vienas, Septine. Their protection isn't just physical or emotional, it's spiritual. They hold a sacred space within themselves that must not be violated, for it is the wellspring of their strength. You've felt it, haven't you? That peace that settles when a chosen one enters a room, an inexplicable sense of safety that surrounds them. This isn't by accident. This is the natural force of divine protection they carry, a protection they have learned to wield with wisdom and discernment. They have a unique ability to deflect negativity, and their very presence can shield those around them from harm. But, while they stand as a fortress for others, they do not let that same fortress crumble within themselves. The chosen ones are not self-sacrificial martyrs, nor are they people-pleasers who bend themselves to the whims of others. They understand that their capacity to serve others begins with their ability to honor and protect themselves. Love your neighbor as yourself. Mark 12:31. This command is not an invitation to neglect your own needs. It's a reminder that you cannot pour from an empty cup. The chosen ones know this. They have learned through experience that they must guard their own energy, their mental health, and their emotional well-being just as fiercely as they guard others. They are not afraid to say no, not out of selfishness, but out of a profound understanding of self-worth. When they sense that their boundaries are being crossed, whether by people, situations, or even their own overwhelming desires to help, they will act swiftly, with clarity. There is no hesitation, because they know what is at stake. They are aware that a moment of weakness or lack of boundary can lead to their spiritual depletion. And they refuse to allow themselves to become an instrument of harm, even if it's self-inflicted through neglect. Have you ever felt drained after spending too much time with certain people or in situations that felt off? How do you protect yourself in these moments? The chosen ones teach us that self-preservation isn't just necessary, it's a sacred act. They understand the profound importance of spiritual hygiene, and they take time to cleanse their energy, to reset their boundaries, and to restore their peace. This is not selfish. It's a wise investment into their ability to continue doing the work they are called to. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Luke 5:16. Even the most devoted leaders knew the importance of retreating, of creating space for restoration. The inner warrior of the chosen ones is not activated out of anger or vengeance, but out of divine discernment. When someone or something disturbs their inner peace, they don't retaliate in a human sense. Instead, they simply withdraw with clarity, leaving behind nothing but peace. They know when it is time to walk away, and they do so with a quiet strength. They understand that cutting ties isn't about hurting others, it's about protecting their sacred energy and maintaining alignment with their higher purpose. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Matthew 6:21. The chosen ones protect their heart, their treasure, fiercely because they know it is the source of their divine mission. They don't abandon others, but they do protect themselves. It's a form of spiritual warfare, knowing when to stand strong and when to pull away, trusting that the divine will continue to guide them. Their silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Their retreat isn't cowardice, it's courage. It is the awareness that they cannot fight every battle, nor should they. They fight the battles they are called to, and they leave the rest to divine justice. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. The chosen ones know when to step forward and when to step back, and in doing so, they maintain their integrity, their energy, and their divine connection. When they choose to protect themselves, it is not out of bitterness or anger. It is simply because they recognize their sacred worth and the importance of their work in the world. They understand that they are not here to be sacrificed on the altar of other people's expectations or needs. Their true calling is not to lose themselves in the process of helping others, but to help others while remaining rooted in their truth. But whoever is united with the Lord is one with him in spirit. 1 Corinthians 6:17. Their connection to God is their source of strength, and they know that they must remain in alignment with this connection to fulfill their purpose. For you, chosen one, are called not only to serve, but to protect the divine light within you. How often do you give yourself permission to say no, to walk away from situations or people who drain you? How deeply do you understand that your spiritual, emotional, and physical energy is sacred? And when you do protect yourself, do you see it as an act of self-love and divine duty? The path of the chosen one is not easy, and the call to be a protector of others and of oneself is sacred and sacredly challenging. But know this, as you walk in your calling, you do not walk alone. Your higher self, your divine guides, and the Spirit walk with you, guiding your every step, teaching you the delicate art of balance, of standing firm in your strength while gently holding the space for others to heal and grow. And remember, your protection is as much for your own soul as it is for the souls you touch. Protecting your peace, your energy, and your boundaries is not just a necessity, it is a sacred responsibility. The chosen ones are embodiments of quiet power, walking in divine authority and carrying a presence that humbles even the most hardened of hearts. Their strength is not loud or boisterous. It doesn't demand attention or create chaos. Instead, it is like a quiet storm, a steady force that grows stronger and stronger with every step, until, eventually, the world around them can no longer ignore it. Their anger, when it does arise, is not a violent eruption, but a calculated silence, a retreat that speaks louder than any outburst ever could. You may have experienced this kind of power, the kind that doesn't need to shout in order to be heard. When the chosen one is wronged or betrayed, they do not engage in futile battles of words. They do not fight for validation, nor do they beg for recognition. Their inner peace is their most powerful weapon, and it is in the stillness that they have the ability to reshape the world around them. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. This divine stillness is not a sign of weakness, but of strength rooted in something far deeper than human pride or ego. Think for a moment, how often do we feel the need to react immediately when faced with injustice? How many times have you found yourself caught in the whirlwind of anger and frustration, feeling as though the only way to right the wrongs in your life is by standing your ground in a loud and forceful way? But there is a power that surpasses this need for validation. It's the power to withdraw, to not waste your energy on fighting battles that don't serve your greater purpose. This is the nature of the chosen ones. They do not fight for power, they simply walk in it. When someone wrongs them, their response is not to retaliate, but to retreat into their own strength, into their own sacred space. And it is in this retreat that the true impact begins to unfold. When a chosen one leaves, they don't need to say a word. Their absence is more telling than any spoken accusation. Suddenly, you feel the weight of their absence. You feel the void that was left, a void that reveals just how much they carried in their presence. When they choose to withdraw, it is not out of spite or vengeance. It is simply because they know the cost of their presence is not something to be given freely. The peace they carried is not for the world to take for granted. They understand that sometimes the greatest lesson is learned in the absence of that peace, in the chaos that arises when the light they carried no longer shines in your life. The tongue of the wise commends knowledge, but the mouths of fools pour out folly. Proverbs 15:2. The foolish may speak endlessly, but the wise know when silence speaks volumes. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone's absence spoke louder than their presence ever could? Perhaps you've experienced the subtle shift when someone who once played a significant role in your life simply disappears, leaving you to grapple with the void left behind. This is the power of the chosen ones. Their silence isn't a withdrawal of love or care, it is a divine act of allowing life itself to reveal the consequences of taking their presence for granted. This power is not about punishment, but about awakening. The chosen one does not need to make others suffer in order to teach them a lesson. They simply step away, and in that silence, the truth has no choice but to rise. For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing is concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. Luke 8:17. The chosen one's absence shines a light on what was once overlooked or ignored, and in that revelation, life begins to unravel the falsehoods and the deceptions that were once present. What happens when the one who has been carrying peace steps away? Do we realize how much we took for granted? Do we understand the full weight of their presence only once they are gone? The silence that follows a chosen one's departure is the most potent form of judgment, for it allows the truth to reveal itself without interference. It is not a punishment, but an awakening, a moment for the world to understand the magnitude of what has been lost. In the face of betrayal or disrespect, The chosen one's response is not to fight fire with fire. They do not descend into chaos or return hate with hate. Instead, they pull back, allowing time and life itself to reveal the price of their absence. They trust that the universe, God, and divine order will take care of what needs to be addressed. This act of withdrawing is, in itself, a powerful form of divine justice. Have you ever been in a position where you needed to let go, to step back, and allow things to unfold on their own, even when you could feel the urge to jump in and try to fix things? How difficult is it to resist the temptation to fight for control when everything within you is telling you to stand firm, to fight for your peace? The chosen ones understand the importance of surrendering to divine timing. They trust that in their silence, the right things will come to light, and the right people will find their way. The absence of the chosen one serves as a mirror for those left behind. It reflects the reality of what was lost and forces the truth to rise to the surface. It's not a vengeful departure, but a quiet proclamation that when the chosen one chooses to leave, it is because they have already given all they can give. And in that departure, they allow life to show the cost of their absence. So, what happens when they finally choose to speak? When the silence is broken, their words are like thunder, for they come from a place of truth that cannot be ignored. The chosen ones do not speak for the sake of making noise. They speak when the moment is right, when their words are needed most. And when they speak, it is as if the world must listen, for their words carry the weight of divine authority. What would it be like if, instead of responding to every challenge with noise and conflict, you chose silence, knowing that it would allow the truth to reveal itself? How would your life change if you trusted that your silence could bring clarity and awaken others to the reality of the situation? The chosen ones teach us that sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. It is in that space of silence that the divine works its most profound miracles. The power of the chosen one's silence is a reminder that we are not here to fight every battle or prove ourselves to others. We are here to walk in divine alignment, trusting that when we step back, the truth will find its way forward. The absence of noise speaks louder than any argument ever could, and in that silence, the divine reveals what needs to be seen. The chosen ones possess a power unlike anything the world is accustomed to, a power born of deep spiritual connection and divine intuition. Their awareness transcends what the average person sees. It's as if they can see through the veil of illusion that many others live behind, cutting through the masks people wear and uncovering the truth hidden beneath. The Spirit searches all things, even the deep things of God. 1 Corinthians 2:10. They don't just perceive what is in front of them, they perceive what is hidden in the heart. Their intuition is not just a gift, it is a weapon honed by spiritual fire, directed by the hand of God. When someone interacts with a chosen one, they are not simply engaging with another person, they are coming face to face with a divine mirror. The chosen ones do not just listen to words, they listen to the energy behind the words. Every shift in tone, every hesitation, every micro-expression is noted, and in that silent observation, they are able to discern hidden motives, unspoken truths, and the unresolved traumas that people try to conceal. You may think you can hide your intentions or your fears, but to them, it is as clear as day. But the Lord said to Samuel, "Do not look at his appearance or at his physical stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." 1 Samuel 16:7. What others hide behind their words or actions is fully visible to the chosen ones. They have eyes that see beyond the physical realm, and this spiritual vision becomes their shield and their sword. Have you ever encountered someone whose very presence seemed to pierce through your walls, exposing things about yourself that you hadn't even acknowledged? Maybe it wasn't that they spoke loudly or aggressively, but in their quiet confidence, they simply knew. This is the power of divine intuition. It's not about manipulation or control, but about an unshakable clarity that sees things as they truly are. And when someone who operates in this divine intuition confronts you, it's not the kind of confrontation you might expect. They do not fight with force, they fight with truth. Their words are like arrows, aimed not to wound, but to expose what lies hidden in the shadows of the soul. The reason why toxic people fear the chosen ones is because they cannot hide their darkness in their presence. For everyone who does evil hates the light, and does not come to the light, lest his deeds should be exposed. John 3:20. The chosen one, simply by existing, forces people to confront the parts of themselves that they would rather keep hidden: insecurities, manipulative tendencies, self-doubt, and unhealed wounds. It is a direct confrontation with the truth that others desperately try to avoid. But rather than being aggressive, they stand firm in their peace, unwavering and unshaken. They may not always speak everything they know, but when they do speak, it's as if the very essence of truth is being unleashed. The power of truth in the hands of the chosen ones is not only transformative, it is cleansing. Their words, when spoken with clarity and divine intent, cut through the illusions and bring everything into the light. This doesn't mean that they use their truth carelessly. Their words are calculated, chosen with care, spoken when necessary, and always aimed at the heart of the issue. They are protectors of truth, and they use it to heal and to restore, never to destroy for the sake of destruction. But there are moments when silence will no longer suffice, when the divine wisdom within them will demand to be voiced. And when that happens, the impact is undeniable. Have you ever felt the weight of truth settle into your heart when someone spoke, almost as though their words were not theirs at all, but were coming from a higher place? This is the essence of divine intuition. It's not about knowing everything, it's about knowing what matters. The chosen ones speak from a place of deep knowing, not simply of their own experiences, but from a place of divine understanding. Their words, when they choose to share them, are not merely opinions, they are prophetic truths that resonate with the soul. But with such power comes a certain responsibility. The chosen ones are often silent witnesses to the world's dysfunction. They are not eager to correct others, nor do they seek validation through speaking out. They hold their power with humility, knowing that truth, in its purest form, does not need to be forced upon others. They allow it to be revealed in its own time, letting their lives, their actions, and their very presence speak volumes. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. This stillness is not a lack of action, it is a state of readiness, a place where the chosen one's intuition is fully aligned with divine timing. And yet, the very nature of their divine gift is what makes them a threat to the forces of darkness. To those who live in the shadows, who thrive on lies and manipulation, the chosen ones represent an unstoppable force of light. The light they carry exposes everything, every lie, every hidden motive, every unhealed wound. This is why people who live in deceit fear them, not because the chosen ones are aggressive, but because they are a walking, breathing embodiment of truth. The truth will set you free. John 8:32. When truth is spoken through the chosen ones, it brings freedom, but it also brings accountability. Do you ever feel unsettled by someone's quiet presence, as if their energy alone is calling you to be more honest with yourself? Does it challenge you to face parts of yourself that you would rather leave hidden? This is the work of divine intuition. It is not invasive or forceful, it is gentle but firm. The chosen ones don't need to control others. They simply embody truth, and in doing so, they allow the world around them to shift. Their intuition is not only a tool of revelation, but a tool of healing. They don't just see what is wrong, they see what is possible. They see the potential for growth, for transformation, for redemption. And while they do not chase after others to fix them, they know how to show others the way through their own light. They inspire transformation, not by preaching or lecturing, but by living as an example of divine clarity, peace, and love. And finally, have you ever found yourself wanting to hide from the truth, yet feeling a strange pull to face it head-on? The chosen ones offer that mirror, a reflection of what is true, not just about others, but about ourselves. Their power is in the quiet knowing, in the ability to see with divine clarity, and to bring others to the realization of their own truths. The chosen one is often seen as someone who carries the weight of the world on their shoulders. They are deeply compassionate, willing to forgive even the harshest betrayals, and constantly working to restore the broken pieces of the world around them. In their presence, others feel a sense of comfort, as though they are in the presence of something far greater than human compassion, a divine reflection of mercy. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Matthew 5-7. This divine mercy, flowing from the chosen one, touches the hearts of many, offering them chances for growth and healing. Yet there is something many fail to understand. This mercy, as deep and vast as it is, has its limits. As a natural protector, the chosen one will stand by those they love through thick and thin. They will intercede for others in prayer, cover them with light, and give them the space to make mistakes. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Luke 6:37. But there comes a point in every relationship, every situation, where their mercy is no longer enough to continue the cycle of support. When they realize that they are being used, that they are being disrespected, or that their kindness is being taken for granted, something shifts deep within them. This is not a loss of love, but rather a realization of their own need to preserve their spirit. Have you ever reached the point where you've been giving so much of yourself, trying to help someone, and yet they continuously take without ever giving back? Do you feel drained, empty, like you're being used, yet your compassion keeps you tethered to them? The chosen one knows this feeling all too well. They have an immense capacity for love, but they also know that giving endlessly without replenishing their own soul can cause harm, not only to themselves, but to the person they are trying to help. When this moment comes for the chosen one, it is not about anger or a desire for revenge. It's not a spiteful action. It's a deeply spiritual response to the need for self-preservation. The same mercy that once covered someone now transforms into a necessary boundary. They understand that healing cannot happen if they continue to carry the weight of someone else's neglect or selfishness. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Proverbs 15:1. In this moment, they simply let go. They release the other person, not out of hate, but out of love for themselves, out of a need to protect their own peace. This is the moment when the divine covering that once shielded the other person begins to lift, and they are left to face the consequences of their actions. This shift, however, often goes unnoticed by those who have taken the mercy for granted. They may not realize the magnitude of the spiritual safety net they once had. They don't comprehend how deeply the chosen one's presence was keeping them afloat. But when that covering dissolves, when the chosen one steps back and allows divine justice to take its course, the effects are profound. For whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. Galatians 6-7. The consequences are not punishment, but rather the natural result of actions that went unchecked for too long. The absence of the chosen one's mercy brings clarity, as the person is forced to confront the reality of their own choices. Why is it that sometimes people only realize the worth of something once it is gone? Do you find yourself caught in situations where you gave more than you received, only to realize too late that the other person wasn't willing to offer the same in return? The chosen one carries this weight constantly. They know the value of mercy, yet they also know that there comes a point where mercy must give way to justice. This divine justice does not come from a place of hatred or vengeance, but from the need to bring balance to a situation that has long been out of alignment. The truth that many fail to grasp is that when they cross the line, when they push the chosen one to the point of letting go, they are not just losing the love and protection of a kind soul, they are losing the presence of someone sent by something much greater. The chosen one is not just a kind person, they are a divine vessel of God's purpose. For the Lord disciplines those he loves, and he punishes everyone he accepts as a son. Hebrews 12:6. When mercy transitions into justice, it is because God's divine plan is in motion. The chosen one is a part of that plan, and their role is not to allow injustice to go unchecked. When they step back, they are allowing divine justice to step forward. This doesn't mean that they will seek to cause harm or hold grudges. The chosen one is not about vengeance, they are about restoration. They understand that God's will is for all people to come into alignment with His truth. However, they also understand that some people are simply not ready to receive that truth, and no amount of mercy or love can change that for them. The chosen one, with their immense patience, gives many chances. But when the line is crossed, it is not out of bitterness that they step back. It is out of the realization that their role is not to enable destruction, but to allow divine growth, even if it comes through discomfort. Are you at the point where you are offering your mercy endlessly, only to feel that it's being disregarded? Have you ever been in a situation where, despite your best efforts to help, you realize that your energy is being drained, and it's time to protect yourself? When the chosen one releases someone, it is not the end, it is the beginning of a deeper truth. Their absence becomes a lesson that cannot be ignored. It forces the other person to confront what they have lost and what they have taken for granted. It is divine justice unfolding, and it cannot be avoided. The chosen ones understand that divine timing is everything. When the moment comes for them to step back, to let go, or to remove their presence from someone's life, it is not a moment of regret. It is a moment of clarity. They have given all that they could, and now it's time for the other person to stand on their own, to confront their actions, and to grow in the way that only truth can foster. In closing, the mercy of the chosen one is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It can heal wounds, it can restore hope, and it can offer second chances. But that mercy is not without limits. When the time comes for the chosen one to withdraw their support, it is not because they no longer care. It is because they understand that true healing and transformation can only occur when people are forced to confront the reality of their own actions. Mercy, when it reaches its limit, gives way to justice, and in that moment, everything changes. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34-18. The chosen one walks in that divine knowledge, knowing that their purpose is greater than just offering mercy. It is to restore, to heal, and to bring alignment to the world. The energy of the chosen one is like nothing you can describe with mere words. It isn't just their presence that changes a room, it's the very essence of their being that shifts the atmosphere. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34-18. This verse speaks to the transformative energy that flows through the chosen ones, as their presence brings peace to the restless, hope to the weary, and light into the darkest corners of any space. When they walk into a room, you don't have to be told, they don't need to announce their arrival. It's felt immediately. The energy around them changes, as if the very air lightens. Tension that once filled the room dissipates, replaced by a calm and clarity that wasn't there before. In their presence, things that once seemed confusing begin to make sense. It's as though their mere existence draws the chaotic elements into alignment, bringing order out of disorder. For God is not a God of disorder, but of peace. 1 Corinthians 14:33. The energy they carry is like a divine reset button for the environment. Have you ever been around someone who, without speaking a word, can make you feel more at ease, like your mind and heart are suddenly aligned? Have you felt a calming shift when a particular person entered the room, one that made everything feel right, even in the midst of turmoil? The chosen ones carry that same energy. Their presence is not just a passive existence, it is a transformative force, a divine frequency that influences everything it touches. They may not say anything, yet you know something is different when they enter. Their soul cleanses the space without them even trying. But this energy, though beautiful, is not always neutral. If the chosen one is disrespected, ignored, or forced to exist in an environment that does not honor their truth, the impact is the opposite. Suddenly, the atmosphere becomes heavy, thick with tension, and conversations falter. The energy shifts, turning uncomfortable, even unbearable. It's as though something in the environment is out of alignment, and it feels as though the very spirit of the room has become disjointed. This is not drama or exaggeration, it's spiritual physics at work. Have you ever found yourself in a space that just didn't feel right? Have you been in the presence of someone, perhaps unknowingly, whose energy seemed to make everything feel uneasy, but you couldn't explain why? The chosen ones experience this too. When they are hurt or disrespected, the energy of the space around them warps, and that's their spirit's natural way of reacting to imbalance. Their spiritual frequency is so high and aligned with the divine that any disturbance, any disharmony, causes a ripple effect. Where there is strife, there is pride, but wisdom is found in those who take advice. Proverbs 13:10. The energy of the chosen one perceives even the smallest imbalance and reflects it back to the space they occupy. What does this mean for you? If you are in the presence of someone who carries this kind of energy, whether it's someone you work with, live with, or simply encounter, it's important to treat them with respect, honesty, and care. When you honor their space, you honor the divine purpose they carry. It's easy to take someone like this for granted, assuming that their energy is just how they are, but the reality is their presence is a gift. Honor one another above yourselves. Romans 12:10. The chosen ones are bearers of light, walking among us, carrying more than just their own energy. They carry divine energy, meant to transform the world. So, how often do you stop and recognize the gifts of those around you? Do you acknowledge the energy they bring into your life? The chosen one isn't a person whose presence should be overlooked. To disregard them, to take their energy for granted, is to disregard a divine force at work in the world. What do you think it would be like if, instead of ignoring the quiet power in the room, you began to intentionally honor the people who carry such a high frequency? If you began to recognize their energy for what it truly is, heavenly guidance and transformation walking in the flesh. In the moments when the chosen one is hurt, their silence speaks louder than 1,000 words. It's not because they are weak, but because they understand something that others don't. Their silence carries more weight than any argument could. In quietness and trust is your strength. Isaiah 30:15. Their spirit speaks volumes in the stillness, echoing through every room, every space they occupy. When they withdraw or fall silent, it is not to punish or to prove a point, but to allow the truth to resonate more clearly. In these moments, their absence is felt, and their absence alone brings clarity. The chosen one's silence is not just absence, it's a presence, it's a message, a divine interruption meant to stir the soul. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. In their silence, they invite others to recognize the imbalance around them, to feel the absence of the peace that was once there. This is a sacred act, one that is meant to awaken the environment, to realign the people who interact with them, and to guide them back toward truth. Have you ever experienced the power of someone's silence? A moment when the energy of the room shifted not because of words, but because someone chose to withdraw. What did that silence make you feel? For the chosen ones, silence is not a sign of weakness, but a powerful tool of spiritual alignment. It's a way for them to recalibrate, to protect their energy, and to allow the divine to move in a space that can't be reached by words alone. When the chosen one enters a room, when their presence graces any environment, the atmosphere becomes something greater. It becomes a place of spiritual alignment, peace, and light. Their energy doesn't just affect the immediate surroundings, it resonates with everything it touches. But just as easily, when they are wounded or disrespected, the absence of their energy becomes a divine signal, a call for reflection and realignment. The chosen ones carry the light, but they also carry the power to leave behind darkness when needed. Their energy is not to be taken lightly. It is a gift, a calling, and a purpose that reshapes the world around them. How often do you recognize the power that the people around you carry? Are you able to see the divine light in others? And when you do, how do you treat it? The chosen one did not come by chance. There is no coincidence in their journey. They were called, chosen, and set apart from before they took their first breath. They carry with them a mission, a divine purpose far greater than what the world may ever understand. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1-5. This is the essence of the chosen one's existence. They were not formed to simply exist in the world, but to change it, to shift atmospheres, to bring healing and light where there was once darkness. As a bridge, they connect the unseen with the seen. They carry messages from the spiritual realm, often without words, but through their very being. They are beacons, shining their light into the darkest places, guiding those who are lost and wandering, helping them find their way back to truth. But the chosen one is not just light. They are a sword when necessary, cutting through the falsehoods that bind people, tearing down walls of deceit and darkness, for the word of God is alive and active. Sharper than any double-edged sword, it penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart. Hebrews 4:12. The chosen one's strength lies in the balance of being a healer and a warrior, of offering love and light, while also possessing the power to defend what is sacred, what is true. Many who encounter the chosen one may mistake their kindness for weakness. The meek shall inherit the earth. Matthew 5:5. Their gentleness, their ability to listen, their compassionate hearts are not signs of fragility, but of immense strength. Do not confuse their patience with passivity. Their patience is not the silence of the powerless. It is the wisdom of one who knows when to act and when to wait. They understand that all things must come in divine timing. They are deeply aware that their presence alone is enough to shift energies, heal hearts, and open minds. But be warned, their silence should never be mistaken for ignorance or a lack of awareness. The chosen one sees all, perceives all. They understand the depths of human nature, the motives hidden beneath the surface. Their patience, while seemingly endless, is not infinite. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Isaiah 40-31. The chosen one may stand quietly in the midst of turmoil, patiently observing, waiting for the right moment. But when that moment comes, when their patience has run its course, their response is swift and powerful. They are not impulsive, but when the time for action arrives, they will move with the authority granted to them by God. Have you ever wondered if your patience, the way you wait for things to unfold, is a gift or a burden? Do you ever question whether your silence is a weakness or a source of strength? The chosen one knows, deep within their soul, that their waiting is not a passive act but an active one. It is a purposeful act, a deliberate choice to allow the spiritual forces to align in their favor. They are not merely waiting for things to happen. They are positioning themselves in alignment with God's will, knowing that in the stillness they are being prepared for something greater. The chosen one's presence transforms the spaces they occupy. This transformation may not always be visible to the eye, but it is felt in the soul. When they enter a room, when they speak, when they move, the atmosphere shifts. This is not an accident. It is the natural effect of someone who carries the light of heaven within them. Their light disturbs those who are comfortable in their darkness, but it also offers a way out for those who are ready to awaken. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. The chosen one is the light that pierces the darkness, illuminating paths for others to follow. Yet, even with all the power they carry, the chosen one is not here to force others to see the truth. They do not demand that others wake up or change. They offer their light freely, and those who are ready will be drawn to it, while those who are not yet ready may turn away. It is not the chosen one's responsibility to force enlightenment upon others. Their responsibility is to remain true to their purpose, to continue shining and guiding regardless of how others react. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:16. The chosen one's light is not for themselves, it is for the world, for others to see the goodness of God and glorify Him. What do you do when your presence is met with resistance, or when your light is ignored? Do you shrink back, afraid that your efforts are in vain, or do you continue to shine, knowing that your light is enough, even if it is not immediately recognized? The chosen one knows that they are not called to force others to see. They are called to shine, to embody truth, and to allow the light within them to do the work. Sometimes, simply being present is the greatest act of healing they can offer. For those who are called to walk in the way of the chosen, their journey is not always easy. They will be misunderstood, they will be taken for granted, and they will face challenges that test their resolve. But in the end, they are not here to prove anything to anyone. They are here to walk in their purpose, to fulfill the mission given to them by the divine. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. The chosen one's strength lies not in fighting battles with their own strength, but in trusting that God will fight for them. Their silence is not weakness, it is trust. Their patience is not a sign of passivity, it is faith in God's perfect timing. As you walk the path of the chosen, remember this: you are not here by accident, you carry a mission, and you carry it with grace, humility, and power. You are not here to change the world by force, but by being who you were created to be. You are the light in the darkness, the healer in the storm, and the bridge between heaven and earth. The world may not always recognize your value, but that is not for you to worry about. You are here to fulfill your divine purpose, and in doing so, you will transform the world around you. What is your purpose? What light are you meant to bring into the world? How are you using the gifts you've been given to impact the lives of those around you? The chosen ones carry these answers deep within them. And when the time comes for you to speak or act, trust that it will be exactly as it is meant to be. Your silence is powerful, your patience is wise, and your presence is transformative. Let your life be a reflection of all that is divine within you. The chosen one is also a master of boundaries. This is often an aspect that is overlooked or misunderstood. People see the compassion, the patience, and the willingness to help, but they fail to see the strength it takes to establish healthy boundaries. For the chosen, setting boundaries is not about rejecting others, but about protecting the sacred space within themselves that is necessary for their purpose. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. The chosen one understands that in order to be effective in their mission, they must first protect their own energy. Without boundaries, they risk becoming drained, manipulated, or lost in the needs of others. Their compassion is boundless, but their energy is not limitless. There is a delicate balance between being a conduit for divine love and allowing others to take from them without regard for their well-being. Boundaries are the key to maintaining that balance. They are not selfish or unkind for protecting themselves. They are wise and discerning. They know that by taking care of themselves, they are better able to serve those around them. Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed by the demands of others, to the point where you lose sight of your own needs? Have you allowed others to cross your boundaries out of a sense of duty or guilt, only to find that you feel drained and unappreciated? It is crucial for the chosen ones to recognize their own limits, to understand that their worth is not tied to how much they give to others. In fact, they are most effective when they give from a place of fullness, not from depletion. Do not weary yourself to gain wealth. Cease from your own understanding. Proverbs 23:4. There is wisdom in knowing when to stop, when to pause, and when to say no. Setting boundaries also means understanding the difference between what is their responsibility and what is someone else's. It is easy for the chosen ones to become over-involved in the lives of others, to carry the weight of others' burdens, and to feel responsible for their healing. However, They must understand that healing is a process that others must undergo for themselves. The chosen one's role is to offer love, wisdom, and guidance, but not to carry the burdens of others indefinitely. They are not saviors, they are messengers. Their purpose is to point others to the light, to inspire change, and to guide people back to their own divine path. Bear one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. Galatians 6:2. But remember, there is a difference between bearing someone's burden and taking it on as your own. One of the most powerful things the chosen ones can do is to empower others to take responsibility for their own lives. Their presence is healing, but they do not do the work for others. They are not meant to be people pleasers or to sacrifice their own well-being to make others feel comfortable. The chosen one's true strength lies in their ability to remain grounded in their own truth, to protect their own peace, and to stand firm in their purpose while guiding others to find their way. And the Lord said, "My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." Exodus 33:14. Rest is an essential part of the chosen one's journey. Rest is not laziness. It is a divine gift that allows them to reconnect with their true source of power and clarity. There are times when the chosen one must also walk away. Walking away is not an admission of defeat or failure. It is an act of self-preservation. When the energy around them becomes too toxic, when the environment becomes too draining, it is not only okay to leave, it is necessary. In fact, it is a form of respect for their own divine mission. It is a reminder that they are not bound by anyone else's expectations or limitations. For the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord bestows favor and honor. No good thing does he withhold from those who walk uprightly. Psalm 84:11. The chosen ones are shielded by divine grace. They do not have to stay in situations that compromise their peace or distract them from their divine path. But what happens when the chosen one steps back, when they set boundaries and protect their sacred space? The world will often push back. People may not understand. Some will feel rejected, others will feel confused or abandoned. However, the chosen one must remember that their worth does not depend on others' approval or understanding. They are not called to people please. They are called to walk in divine truth. The absence of the chosen one is often more profound than their presence, because in their absence, people are forced to confront the truth they have avoided. The space the chosen one leaves behind often acts as a mirror, forcing others to look at themselves and see what has been hidden in the shadows. For the Father judges no one, but has entrusted all judgment to the Son. John 5:22. The reality is, the chosen one's ability to walk away with grace is one of the greatest forms of protection they can offer themselves and others. It creates room for healing, growth, and transformation. The silence they leave behind is not an absence of love or connection. It is a space for clarity and truth to settle. Sometimes, people need to feel the loss in order to truly understand the value of what they had. Have you ever felt the need to pull away from a situation or relationship, but hesitated because you feared how others might react? Do you struggle with setting boundaries because you fear it may lead to conflict or misunderstandings? It is important to remember that walking away does not mean you are abandoning your calling or abandoning others. It means you are stepping into the truth of your own being. It means you are aligning with the divine wisdom that guides you to protect your peace, your energy, and your sacred purpose. The chosen ones must be able to discern the difference between when it is time to give and when it is time to pull back. They must recognize that not every battle is theirs to fight, and not every person is theirs to save. By respecting their own boundaries, they not only protect themselves, but also empower others to take responsibility for their own lives and healing. The chosen one is not a savior, they are a guide, a witness to the power of divine grace and wisdom. And by setting boundaries, they teach others the sacred art of self-care, self-respect, and spiritual sovereignty. In conclusion, the chosen ones carry with them a sacred mission. They are healers, warriors, and guardians of light. Their role in the world is not to conform to others' expectations, but to walk in alignment with their divine purpose. They must understand that their journey requires them to protect their energy, to set boundaries, and to walk away from situations that drain their spirit. By doing so, they create space for healing, transformation, and divine alignment. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. Trust in the divine plan, trust in the power of your presence, and walk boldly in the truth of who you are. As we close today's reflection on the chosen ones, I want to leave you with this thought. You are not here by accident. Your presence on this earth is divinely orchestrated, and everything you experience, every challenge, every moment of growth, is all a part of the greater plan. You are not just a passive observer in this world. You are a participant, an active vessel of divine light and purpose. As we've explored, your strength lies in your patience, your silence, your ability to heal and guide, and above all, your ability to set boundaries and protect your divine mission. The world may not always understand you. People may see your compassion as weakness, your silence as indifference, and your boundaries as rejection. But these qualities are not weaknesses, they are the essence of your power. The chosen ones are called not to blend in, but to stand out, not to conform, but to transform. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. Your very presence radiates light that can't be ignored, even by those who don't understand it. Remember, you are not here to prove your worth to others. You are here to walk in the fullness of your divine calling. Your patience is a testament to the wisdom you carry. Your kindness is the mark of your divine connection, and your silence is the voice of truth. The divine truth that lives within you is more powerful than any challenge or obstacle that may come your way. It's time to own that power, to step fully into your purpose, and to trust that everything you've been through has led you to this very moment. If today's message resonated with you, I encourage you to reflect on your own journey. Have you been patient, but now realize your patience has limits? Have you been holding on to your peace only to feel drained by the demands of others? It's time to embrace your role as the chosen one, the guardian of your own energy, the protector of your boundaries, and the light bearer of the divine purpose that flows through you. The world needs you, as it has always needed those who walk with grace, who shine with love, and who rise with truth. If you feel this message stirring something within you, take a moment to like, share, and comment below. Let us know how this resonates with you. Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Join this community of individuals walking in their divine purpose and supporting each other along the way. Whether or not you choose to support via Super Thanks, know that your presence here means the world to me, and I am deeply grateful for the time we share in this sacred space. As you go on with your day, remember that you are more than just a vessel of light. You are a force of transformation. Keep walking with patience, with grace, and with the firm, knowing that you are not alone in this journey. The divine presence is always with you, guiding you, protecting you, and calling you to rise higher than ever before. I pray for peace in your heart, clarity in your mind, and strength in your spirit. May you always know that your existence is a divine purpose, unfolding in perfect timing. And may you step boldly into the calling that has been waiting for you since the beginning of time. Blessings to you, chosen one.